And good evening, everyone. Welcome to another exciting Saturday Night Wine Stream and another exciting episode of Drink with Rick. I'm Rick, and this is episode number 133. And I'm glad you're here. Because, this is going to be a bit of an experiment tonight. I have a wine to try that was recommended to me by my good friends at Winestore in North Carolina. And I don't know anything about this wine. I couldn't find out anything about this wine. There is no information about this wine anywhere to be found except on their own website, and it is very sparse indeed. More about that as we go along, but we're going to find out if I like it or if I'm not. Well, if I'm not. Oh, okay, let's see. Take two. Okay, anyway, I'm glad you're here, and I'm here with my friend Roadkill Bill, which I will be bringing up later tonight. We're going to have some fun. We've got this wine. I've got some food to pair it with that was prepared by my lovely wife, Chi. And it's pretty much an open chat tonight. So anything you want to talk about in the chat, as long as it's legal, feel free to bring it up. We can talk about that. There are a lot of things we can talk about. No politics, no religion. That's those are the two topics that are off, because this show isn't about me. It's about the wine somewhat, but this show is really about you and me getting together on a Saturday night, kicking back, relaxing with our favorite libation, and just having a great time, and just having some time together. And wine brings people together, and I don't really want to go into topics that would not bring people together, if you know what I mean. So let's keep it light and airy and a lot of fun for everybody, so we can all bring people together, as we know wine does. Now, if you're watching for the first time or the 133rd time, this is drinkwithrick.com. This is a stream of consciousness kind of show. I do have my show notes. They're right here. But I don't always follow them verbatim because, like I said, this show is about you and me getting together and chatting. And this is about participating in a live chat. Participate with me in the live chat. CM Cinder's in the chat with me on Twitch. CM Cinder says hello, and hello right back at you. And she already clipped something, if I like it or if I not. Okay, thank you. I don't know, or if I not. Got me on that one. There's an outtake for everyone. It's, should do more outtakes, right? Just for the fun of it. All right, well, that was, I don't know. I haven't had any wine yet, folks. And let's check Facebook. Nothing going on Facebook, and YouTube's kind of quiet tonight. Twitch is where the action is, and I don't know how to check it on Twitter, to be honest. But we are streaming live on Twitter. We're streaming live on Facebook. The Facebook page is Drink with Rick. YouTube is Drink with Rick also. It's not Drink with Rick also, but it's Drink with Rick. It's also called Drink with Rick. Okay. Going into a hole there. And also Twitch. Twitch is Drink with Rick and the number 1. Drink with Rick 1, and it's all one word. Twitter is at Drink with Rick. Also on the website, we're live on the website at drinkwithrick.com. Now I don't have a chat going on there, but if you click on this episode going on live right now, if you click on that post for this episode, there'll be a comment box. You can type in your comment, and I will respond in kind when I get a chance eventually, because I can't see it live, but I can check it out later. Also, the podcast, I haven't had any yet, folks. And here I am mixing my words up. Yeah, so the podcast goes live at 10 p.m. Eastern time. 10 p.m. Eastern on Monday nights is when the podcast go live. Can we start the whole show over? Okay, when the podcast goes live, and you can catch it on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher Radio, Blueberry.com, iHeartRadio, Deezer, Amazon Music, and podcastindex.org, podcastindex.org, and also by email. If you go to the website, drinkwithrick.com, click on the subscribe page, click on the button that says by email, put in your email address, and you will get the latest episode of Drink with Rick, the podcast, as soon as it drops on Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern. And no salesman will call. Really, this is just for the podcast. You can unsubscribe at any time if you want, but please don't. Please don't. I could use the subscribers, please. And subscribe on YouTube as well, if you can. And follow me on Twitch also. That would be much, much appreciated. CM Sender says, Dad, are you okay? I'm not sure. Maybe I should do a take 3 on this. It's been a wild ride so far, and we haven't even started the show, really. Anyway, so here we are. This is what we're drinking tonight. We're drinking this. It's a Pabellon. It's called Pabellon. It's a Rioja. This is a wine from Spain. Now, this is all I know about this wine, is that it's called Pabellon. It's a 2018 Rioja. It's a Tempranillo, and it's from Spain. And other than that, I got nothing. I really got nothing on this wine. Let's take a look at the back of this wine. I'll show you how much nothing there is. There seems to be a lot on the wine in the back, but it's sort of misleading. It's a little deceptive. It says Pabellon 2018 750 milliliter bottle, alcohol 14.5% by volume. They've got it in big, bold letters. And I tell you what, they do not mince words on this. It's right there, right away. You know, a lot of wines, they'll hide the alcohol content somewhere, but they've got this right there. It's a third item there after the size of the bottle. 14.5% ABV. It says, red wine, Tempranillo, product of Spain, bottled for Artesian Enterprises Incorporated in Greensboro, North Carolina, by Iparraldeco Upatagiac. I don't know. Upatagiac? I don't know. LaGuardia, España, NRE, imported by Artesian Enterprises. They just said that up above, and they repeated it in the same paragraph. So this is a Rioja. There's the government warning, contains sulfites. That's pretty much all wines do. And that's pretty much all there is to it. I mean, it doesn't tell you much. I think there's a nice picture on the front of, yeah. Anyway, so other than that, there's really nothing on this wine. And I went to the Winestore website. I'll get into that in a minute. Let's go ahead and open this wine and get it over with. This is going to be a short show tonight, folks, especially if nobody's in the chat. This is going to be a very short show. So please get in the chat and talk to me. I got nothing going on. Now, I don't need my foil cutter tonight because there is no foil to cut tonight. It does say 2018. I don't know if you can see this right here. 2018. There we go. So, other than that, I got nothing else. But what I do have is my mechanical corkscrew. We will go ahead and uncork it mechanically. And we're going to go do that right now. And that does not. There we go. Took 2 tries to get that out. Wow. I'm telling you, this wine is, it's a surprise all the way around. Okay, now to pour it. Now, last week I did not use the aerator because it was leaking. But I'm going to try it again tonight. I completely forgot to order a new aerator. So I'm using this one because I really need an aerator. But I'm going to see if this starts leaking again. I'm just going to have to just take it right out of there and go the rest of the show without it. And, of course, to pour the grape nectar, I have my trusty Galway genuine Irish crystal glass from Ireland, given to me by my employers at buy2wayradios.com. We're going to pour a little bit of this wine. We're going to just pensively pour it, see if it leaks. So far it's holding on. And so far it looks... a little bit more. Okay, no leakage this time. So far, good. That's a good sign. Well, I really kind of worked the 2 pieces together and really was concerned about it. So hopefully hopefully it'll last the evening with that. We'll give it a little bit of a swirl and let the wine come up. I don't know if you see any tears on this wine. Kind of slow if you. The rate at which it forms the tears kind of tells you about the alcohol content. There is 14.5% alcohol ABV. There's probably more than that in here. I'm just guessing, but there probably is. So I'm going to take it easy with this wine tonight. All right, so we're going to let it sit and open up for a couple of moments, maybe a couple of minutes. And while we're doing that, let's learn a little bit more about this wine, if we can. Okay? So, like I said, I did not find a whole lot on it. As a matter of fact, the only place I Googled it up in a lot of different ways and could not find. I found information on Riojas and Tempranillos and something about a Pabellon and some other stuff that was related to other things, completely unrelated to this wine. But I couldn't really find anything on this wine except there were some images. Google had a couple of images that I found that were of this bottle of wine. Guess where they link back to? Winestore. Everything points to Winestore. And going to Winestore, I'm going to read you what's on the website. Now, this is coming from the Winestore website, and I'm doing this, pretty much to show you just how little there is on it on the Winestore website. So this is really more of a, I'm reporting on this, so it's kind of fair use on that. So this is what it says for Pabellon Rioja, the powers behind Bodegas Lo Nuevo, which I looked up, by the way. Not a whole lot on it. Have a remarkable set of vineyards in many of the sexiest parts of Spain, and they always bring some crazy value to it. This is no exception and is one of the most exciting sub-$15 red wines we've tasted in a long time. Now, that doesn't really tell me anything. It tells me basically nothing except, a couple things. Bodegas and Lo Nuevo, which I did look up, which had wines and grapes and things unrelated to this wine. Didn't have anything on this wine, this particular wine. So I don't know what's in this wine. Now, it's a Rioja. They say it's Tempranillo. Tempranillo's a grape. And there are Tempranillo wines that are just 100% Tempranillo, but it doesn't really say that. It says it's a Rioja Tempranillo. And the thing is about Rioja is that Riojas can have blends in there. They can be 100% Tempranillo. They can be Tempranillo with maybe a mix of Grenache or 2 or 3 different grapes in there. Could have a blend of several grapes. So I have no idea, because it says Rioja. It leads me to believe that this is a blend. Maybe a Tempranillo and a Grenache. I don't know. But it doesn't say that, and it doesn't say on the website, it doesn't say anything about whether it's a grape blend or not. It does give the price. It says sub $15 red wines, which it's $14.99, and that's basically what I paid for it when I purchased it from Winestore just the other day. $14.99 plus the tax. I'm a little disappointed with that aspect of it, and I'll say this. And I love Winestore. Don't get me wrong. I know the folks at Winestore. They're great people. I love Winestore. I love shopping there. I continue to shop there. It's a great place to shop. But to be fair, to be honest, their website is a bit lacking. On not just this wine, but I found other wines in the past where the website is just a bit lacking. It doesn't really tell me anything. Yeah, there's some colorfully descriptive, fun things that are in the description area that really have little to do with what I want to know about the wine itself. I want to know what grapes are in there. I want to know exactly where it came from. I want to know, basically, I don't have to have a full text sheet, although it would be nice, but it would be nice to have some more information about the wine, like, how the grapes were grown, when they were harvested, when they were, and of course that gets into the tech sheets, but a little more information, just that, oh, this is such a wild wine, and we really liked it. Well, that's fine, but will I like the wine? I don't know, because I really don't know what's in it. I have no idea. So we're going to give it a taste. It's a complete mystery. We'll give it a taste, and we'll do that in just a few moments. Let me check the chat here real quick, as I don't want to forget anybody in the chat. My lovely wife, she is in the chat. She says hello and right back at you. I can't see the feedback coming from Facebook on the video itself, because they're having trouble playing the video. That happened last week too. I don't know. It's just Facebook. I don't want to start my complaining tonight. No whining. Whining without whining. Twitch, let's see. Twitch is okay. Seam Sanders says you won't need that much alcohol content to get tongue twisted already. That's true. I'm already a bit tongue twisted. Definitely. Let's see what else is going on. I think YouTube is quiet. Nothing going on YouTube. It's a quiet night tonight. It's a beautiful night outside, so everybody should be out and about doing things out and about. Why would they be sitting at home watching me drink wine? What can I say? But if you are there, I'm glad you're here. Please speak up in the chat. Okay, let's give this wine a little bit of a taste. Let me open it up just a moment or two. There's another thing too, is that I hunted around. A Wine Searcher didn't have anything on it. I couldn't get any pricing anywhere else other than Winestore. Vivino didn't have anything on it either. There was just a lot of nothing on this on the web for this particular wine. And once again, that leads me to believe that maybe this wine is specific to Winestore. Maybe it's just an exclusive for Winestore, or maybe it's some brand. It's like Artesian Cellars brand that they bottle themselves and put a label on and sell it exclusively to Winestore. I have no idea. I'm speculating here, but since it doesn't show up anywhere else in the web, it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder what's going on here. Okay, so I'm going to, and this says, now, according to Winestore, and I'm using Winestore specs because that's all I've got to go with, supposedly it goes well with some steak. And I happen to have some steak here tonight. It just so happens. So we will give it a taste. We'll give it a try. We'll see. We'll smell. Get some black cherry on the nose. Some black cherry and maybe a hint of plum. Let's see. Wow. Well, let's see. That was very interesting. I'm getting a lot of different, kind of juicy, kind of chewy. A lot of tannin in this wine. Now, their website says it's astringent, and it is very astringent. It's a dry wine, and it's astringent, but I think that's just like there's a fair number of tannin. There's a lot of tannin in this wine. It's very tannic. Let's try a little bit more of it. This is a very tannic wine. It's fairly bold. And you can tell it's a very, very dark color, but it's a very bold wine, and yeah, it is dry, very dry. Let me see. Now the first taste, I was picking out what I smelled, the black cherry, a little hint of plum in there. I wanted to get a second taste to be sure, but I'm getting it's juicy. It's a juicy wine. It tastes somewhat mature, but I'm getting a little bit of something that I couldn't really identify at first. I'm trying to think, what is that? Something that was strong. Maybe, I don't know. Well, I'm getting some raspberry too. I'm getting a little bit of raspberry in there. But it's really strange because I'm getting a little bit of, I'm getting black cherry. I want to say there's some tobacco in here. I want some tobacco. It's kind of oaky. But the plum is kind of, after the first couple of tastes, I think the plum is diminished on the second taste. Let's see. Black cherry, blackberry. It's oaky. And I had some tobacco in here. And I'm getting some tobacco, and there's something else. But the tannins are kind of chewy a little bit. It's very, very dry. It's not bad. It's just a bit. I can taste the alcohol in the wine. I can definitely taste the alcohol. It's a lot of alcohol. I don't know. I'm not sure about this one. I'm going to have to let it open up a little bit more. It's okay. Whether it's a $15 bottle of wine, I don't know. It tastes like it's fairly well matured, but it's not. It's definitely not a very smooth wine. It's kind of rough around the edges. I don't know. Let me play around with this wine some more, and we'll try it with some foods, and then we'll see if I like it or not. I'm not really sure about it. It's okay. It's okay. $15 though, I don't know. I'll give you my final review at the end of the show. We'll see how it goes. This might be a short show because I don't know if I'm going to be drinking a whole lot of this wine. I'll be honest with you. It's okay. And here's the thing. I love Tempranillos. I like a good Tempranillo. This definitely tastes like a Tempranillo, but it does kind of taste like a blend. It does taste more like a Rioja. It does taste like a blend, and I'm not sure about the blend. Maybe it'll grow on me. We'll see. Okay, well, let's get back to the chats, and then we'll do some tasting. Ed is in the chat, my good friend Ed. It's great to see you, as always. Thank you for being here, Ed, and we'll have some fun tonight. I'm going to bring Roadkill Bill out again. You missed it last week. Last week you missed the string art, didn't you? Or did you catch that later? If you did, maybe I can show it again in a couple of weeks. But I have Roadkill Bill here. I don't know if you probably didn't meet him yet, but I'm going to introduce you to Roadkill Bill. Should be fun. CM Cinder, thanks for being here in the chat, by the way. Let's see what's going on YouTube. Kind of quiet. And folks are kind of coming in late. Now, here's what's going to happen. In 2 weeks, we're going back on we're going back off of daylight savings time. We're rolling it back. Spring forward, fall back. We're going back to standard time, Eastern Standard Time. And traditionally, that's what happens on Eastern Standard Time is when we get folks on the West Coast coming in, because it's still kind of early for them to come in onto the chats and come in to drink with us. And because it's only, it's 10:30 here. It's like 7:30 on the West Coast. It's a little bit earlier. A lot of people are just still eating dinner. Next, when these clocks roll back a little bit, we're going to be technically starting an hour later, technically, I guess. And so it's going to be, we're not going to be starting an hour later. We're still going to be starting at 10 o'clock, but it's just going to be a little darker then. People are going to be eating earlier on the West Coast and the East Coast, and it's going to work out a little bit better. I have found over time that doing this for 3 years now almost, that the summer is, we get the summer doldrums here. And it's in the fall and the winter months, in the early spring, when the clocks are still on Eastern time, regular time, that we have a lot of activity going on in the chat. So that's what we're looking at here. We have some birthdays to toast, by the way, and some national days. That should be fun. All right, where was I? See, once again, this is my stream of consciousness going live. And, okay, so we're caught up here in the chats, I guess, for the time being, CM Sender. We're caught up in the chats on Facebook. All right, let's go ahead and pair it with some food. Here is the food we're going to pair it with tonight. Camera 3 is up, and my wife, Chi, my lovely wife, Chi, has prepared some foods. Now, we have a T-bone steak here. I think it's a porterhouse, actually. T-bone steak. Yeah, we're living the high life. She bought one steak and we shared it. Okay, that's how high we're living the life. But hey, it's steak. I'm not complaining. So here's the steak, and we're going to go ahead and try it with the steak, which is a little bit colder than it was half an hour ago. Pour a little bit more about this wine. I'm going to try it with steak. Now, supposedly this goes great with steak. According to Winestore, which was my only source for anything, chewy steak. Very good. My wife did a great job marinating it. And grilling it, by the way. Okay, I like it with steak. It pairs pretty well with the steak. It's not bad, and you know what? The wine is starting to open up just a little bit, so it's not as they term astringent as it was in the very beginning. I think my first taste was the one that it was the most astringent on. I'm using their words. Anyway, so let's go ahead and clear the palate, and we'll try it with the cheese. Now we've got two cheeses here. We have this is the what is this thing called? It's the unexpected cheddar with parm. That's what it is. Unexpected cheddar with parm. Short for Parmesan, I assume. We're trying it with that. I need to pour a little bit more wine and making sure that it's not leaking. The cheese is good, actually. It's fresh from Trader Joe's, I believe. I think the fact that there's so much tannin in this wine, it actually helps the cheese a little bit, because the cheese, it's a Parmesan cheese. It's kind of, the cheese itself is, it's a hard cheese. I think this goes pretty well with that. So I think it's all right. It's okay with the cheese. I mean, it's not outstanding, and there's nothing that really pops or goes wow for me, but it's okay. Let me clear the palate one more time. And we'll go back to camera 3 and try it with the Trader Joe's Double Cream Gouda. That's this. And of course, we've never had a miss on this one. Fresh double cream Gouda from Trader Joe's. Good stuff, too. Good stuff. Which camera am I on? This one. Okay. Okay. Creamy. Yet, I think because this wine is a little bit on the tart side, it's not as creamy as it could be. I mean, it's an okay. I mean, it's not a bad pairing. It's just, once again, is there anything about this wine with this cheese pairing that just kind of pops and says, wow, this is great. And especially as I have done so many times before, we've had a number of different wines that have gone really well with the Gouda. there have been a couple wines that were saved by the Gouda. This one's kind of neutral. I don't. It doesn't really. There's nothing about this wine that stands out to me with the cheese or with any of these pairings so far. Now, once again, we'll let time and some aeration here, some oxygen going in there, some oxygenation or whatever you want to call it. Try to help this wine along. It's not a bad wine. It's just I've had better. I've had better Tempranillos, to be honest. But I will reserve my final judgment for the end of the show, my final review for the end of the show. In the meantime, let's get into the show and have some fun, because I know that's what we're all here for, is to have some fun. If you're not here to have fun, then you're in for some fun. I don't know where I was going with that. Okay. And Ed, I'm glad you're here once again. Oh, by the way, Ed, did you get? Let me switch back over. Yeah, Ed, did you get the book? I sent the book to you that you had won, the Infinite Giving book. Now, granted, the Infinite Giving book is more of a. It was a book written by a guy that was involved in a lot of these business. I've been involved in one or two of these in the past, and they were. For helping, they're leads groups. They're basically leads groups. And he wrote this book, and he kind of wrote it about his experiences with the leads groups and how he learned some things about how, the thing is about leads groups is that a lot of businesses, small businesses in particular, get together to form these leads group to, ostensibly to be able to exchange leads back and forth to help each other along and grow their businesses. However, a lot of leads groups, there are a lot of people that go in there with the idea that, I'm going to get a lot of leads from these other people, and they're not giving anything back. This one, Infinite Giving, the principle of this is to kind of throw the whole leads group concept on its side, and say, look, instead of going in thinking that you're going in to get leads for new business, go in with the attitude that you're going to give leads to other people and help other businesses along. And in turn, you will get back. It's sort of the pay it forward. It's sort of a combination of the pay it forward concept and the what goes around comes around. That comes back to you. What you put forth that's positive comes back to you, and tenfold. And the concept is a good, solid, sound concept. It's based on some concepts from the Think and Grow Rich book, and in some ways. And the thing is, though, even though this book, the reason that I reviewed this, and I reviewed this book sometime, I think, last year, or very early this year, the reason I reviewed this book, because it really struck me, because I'd been involved in a leads group before, and I was not impressed with the way it operated. It was all about, give me, take, what's in it for me? And the thing is, though, I read this book, and it was about the leads groups, but it went beyond that. This is a book that the concepts in this book can be applied to everybody, not just to small businesses looking for sales leads. It can be applied to everybody in everyday life. This is a solid concept for everyday living, giving, having that concept of infinite giving, being generous and giving to others, and thinking of others first, and what goes out there comes back to you tenfold. And, I think I was impressed with the book in that sense, and which is why I was giving one or two away and why I reviewed it, because I really believe in that positivity. Does that make any sense, Ed? And I didn't mean to go into a long dissertation about it, but I liked the book, even though it was kind of salesman-y, kind of a concept. The principles behind the book is what drove me to say, you know what, these are sound, and everybody should read this book. Not just small businesses and everybody should read this book. And I wanted to give a couple away as part of my attempt of infinite giving. Does that make any sense? But no, honestly, that's where I was coming from there. It's the thought that counts. I don't know if the book has any real value to you or not, or if it's something that's really in line with. But I know Ed, and Ed is definitely a guy that always believes. And just telling everybody else, my friend Ed, who I've known for decades, he is one of those kind of guys that already believes in this concept, really. And I think that. I don't know that he really needs the book more than some other people that I know that read the book, to be honest. But I gave him, but he won the book, and I had it here, so I sent it over to him anyway. But Ed, if you can't really use the book yourself, forward it on. I'll send you something else. Look, I think the principles are sound in the book. Okay, I think they are. So anyway, let's go. Without any further ado. How am I doing, CM Center? Without any further ado, let's go in and CM Center waves. Okay, thank you. Let's see what else we got going on here. Okay, quiet. Good. Let's get to the birthdays. Let's go ahead and toast the birthdays. I have 3 birthdays this week. First birthday that I'd like to toast is for Sharon. My good friend Eric. Ed, you know Eric Solomon. And my good friend Eric, his wife Sharon, her birthday was this past Sunday, the 17th. So I want to take this moment out. I already did say happy birthday to her, by the way, but I want to take this moment out to wish Sharon a happy birthday, and may you have many, 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 many more. Here's to you. Happy birthday, Sharon. Sharon Fleitman. 2 more birthdays. Now, one birthday I'm going to toast is for my good friend Marlo. Marlo, who... Actually, he's responsible for some of the content we do on this show, because he is the CEO of NationalDayCalendar.com. We toast the national days, and he is the CEO of NationalDayCalendar.com. Marlo's birthday is today. Today is his birthday, October 23rd, 2021. Marlo, I want to wish you a very happy birthday. And may you have many, 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 many more. To Marlo Anderson, happy birthday. There's one more birthday I want to toast, and this is for my cousin Barbara. Barbara is a little older than me. And I'm not going to tell her how old she is. I'm a gentleman, okay? She's my cousin. Barbara, your birthday is October 29th, this coming Friday. Of course, I don't need to tell you that because you already know, but I just want to say that I know too, and I'm going to wish you a happy birthday as well. So here's to my cousin Barbara Cottrell. Happy birthday, and may you have many, 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 many more. To Barbara. I think that does it for the birthdays this week. Once again, this is what we're drinking. We're drinking the Pabellon Rioja. This is a 2018. It's a Tempranillo. And I'll tell you, it's tasting a little bit better than it did at the very beginning. I can't say that I didn't like it, but it took me by surprise. I wasn't really expecting, and I love a good Tempranillo. This one was, I don't know. Jury's still out on this, so to speak. So I'm gonna reserve judgment for this until the final one. But it's growing on me a little bit, And of course, as I say before, as I say so many times, that you can't really tell a wine just by one sip, or a sip and a spit, or whatever. Some people, some of these connoisseurs, these guys that are experts, and I don't pretend to be a wine expert. I'm not, and I don't pretend to be one. I just like wine. I'm an everyman who likes to drink wine. But some of these guys, they do the spit in the bucket deal, and I don't prescribe to that, because I feel like that you really have to get down into the bottle to really tell what a wine is like, to really get the full character of a wine. Now, of course, I have an untrained tongue. My tongue is not trained with years and decades of careful training on wines. Okay? I admit that. Not a problem. I'm not afraid to admit that. But, once again, for the average person like you and me, that's not how we drink wine. Okay? I'm drinking wine the way 99.9% of us drink wine. Okay? That's how I'm doing it. And so I'm not doing the whole spit routine. Just take a sip, swirl around the mouth, and go, in the bucket. Not how I do it. I drink the wine. Because wines were made to be drunk. Not to get you drunk, but to be drunk. Digging myself another hole here. Okay. So that... Any comments? Ed says, a personal rebirth day was yesterday for me, and also the birthday of a person named Courtney. A personal rebirth day. Can you share that with us, Ed? Can you share that one with us? A personal rebirth day was yesterday for me, and also the birthday of a person named Courtney. I want to drink to your rebirth. And Courtney's too. How about that? I have plenty of wine. I'm not drinking that much of it. Here's to Ed and Courtney for your rebirth day. And it's not because I'll toast anything, although I probably will. Oh, well, there are some things I don't toast, okay? There are some things I don't toast. But to Ed and Courtney, I will toast. And so, Ed, if you can share a little bit more of that, that would be great. If you want to, there's no requirement, no pressure to do so. It's okay. And Toto the Dog 1 is here in the chat in Twitch. Now, if you're on Facebook, or if you're on Twitch, or if you're on YouTube, and you can't see everybody else, that's what I'm here for. I'm sort of narrating all this for everybody. But we have several chats going. This is the one on Twitch. Toto the Dog 1 on Twitch says, hello, Rick, and hello right back at you, Toto the Dog. Here's to you, Toto the Dog. Thanks for being here. How's Dorothy, by the way? I had to ask. Okay. So, anyway, I haven't had that much to drink. And it's 14.5% alcohol by volume, folks. So this show could go south really quick. It could go south really. It almost did with the glass. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right back into the national days. Toto the Dog says, what is something that you wouldn't toast to? What is something that I wouldn't toast to? I'll tell you what, we'll find out in just a moment. Because we're going to toast the national days, and there have been a few of those that I have not toasted, and you'll find out why. So let's go ahead and toast the national days. I'm going to queue up by the way, this is courtesy of CM Cinder. She does graphics and animation and all kinds. She does all the graphics and animation for Drink with Rick, as well as my son Tommy's show, Cube Command, and a lot of the other shows, some of the other shows on the Savoy Media Network. CM Cinder is a very talented artist, and she will do commissions, and she does Twitch. She does Twitch graphics and things like that for your Twitch channel. So check it out. TiaSavoya.com. TiaSavoya.com. All right, so there's a free plug for you. All right, so let's go to the national days. I'm going to go right into that. Yeah, CM Center says, I made that. Yeah, you did. And you did a fine job, too. She says, I'm still not done setting up the website, though. Haha. Yeah, she's still working on the website. It's getting there. Okay, so October 23rd, which is today, for another hour and 9 minutes. Wow, not bad. Tonight, let's see. Tonight, it's October 23rd, 2021. It's National Boston Cream Pie Day. Okay, I like Boston cream pie. It's not my favorite pie, but I do like Boston cream pie. And look at that. Did you see that? I got to get a close-up of this. I got to get I'm on the wrong. Here we go. See, look at that. It's leaking again. It's leaking again. And I got away with... Did you see that? Do you see that? It's leak. Doggone it. It's leaking. The aerator is leaking again. Now, we went through the first 45 minutes of the show without any leaks, and now it's leaking. So, how about that? All right. So anyway, let's get back to the bottles. Okay. October 23rd is National Boston Cream Pie Day. Boston cream pie, not my favorite pie, but I do like Boston cream pie. I've had it many times. I remember going to the cafeteria, one of these cafeterias like Morrison's cafeteria or something, and they often had a Boston cream pie. You know, they'd put the plates out there and with cellophane and a little toothpick there to keep the cellophane from getting right on the icing, and that's much appreciated, by the way. And I would get the Boston cream pie. Not always, but sometimes. Good. They had a pretty decent Boston cream pie. I will drink to that. Now, see, Toto, I'll drink to Boston cream pie day. I like Boston cream pie. I like Boston, more or less, for a lot of things. I mean, they've brought us a few things. I mean, let's see. The Boston Marathon, for one. That's always entertaining. But Boston is also the home of the Bull and Finch, right? From Cheers, TV show Cheers, the Bull and Finch pub. So I'll drink to that. October 23rd is National Mold Day. Now I'm going to have to explain this one. I don't know if I'm going to drink to this or not, to be honest. Now here's one, Toto, you're asking me about. I'm not sure about this one yet, so I'm going to let you be the judge. You decide, should I drink to this or not? National Mold Day, and it's not what you think. I'm reading this from nationaldaycalendar.com, from their website, nationaldaycalendar.com, because I really didn't know what they were talking about. I didn't know if they were talking about a mole, like the little animal that burrows down in people's front yards, and we had a mole problem one time, and it was really annoying. I don't know if they were talking about a mole in the, like a mole on your face or something, mole on your back, which I have too many of. There's some TMI for you right there. Okay, so I don't know. And so here's what I found out about National Mold Day. And I'm reading this from nationaldaycalendar.com. It says, we'll eliminate any visions of a burrowing creature celebration immediately. National Mold Day recognizes a special number in chemistry. Chemists and chemistry students mark the occasion each year on October 23rd. More specifically, the celebrations take place between 6:02 a.m. and 6:02 p.m. That's very specific. In the U.S., the time and date are written 6:02-1023. The time and date are derived from Avogadro's number. Avogadro's number is approximately 6.02 times 10^23. Hence, defining the number of particles, atoms, or molecules in 1 mole of a substance, one of the 7 base SI units. Okay, according to this is really getting into the weeds. According to nationaldaycalendar.com, a mole is a unit of measurement used in chemistry to express amounts of a chemical substance. Avogadro's number is an historical term closely related to the Avogadro constant. The Avogadro constant is named after the early 19th century Italian scientist Amedeo Avogadro. Should we do this one? Okay, first of all, I'm for this because it's we're not talking about the moles, the creatures, and we're not talking about moles on my back. We're talking about something that's related to chemistry, science. Okay, cool. The second thing is the 19th century Italian scientist Amedeo Avogadro. Okay, I'm all for that, because I have an Italian ancestry. That's why, say, hey, he drinks a lot of wine. Well, I'm Italian, and that's what Italians do, right? They drink a lot of wine, make a lot of wine. More on that later. So, and you know what? My name was, I found out some time ago, I was named after an Italian scientist as well. Another Italian scientist, not Amedeo Avogadro, but another different scientist. My given name, my full name. So, and I am of Italian descent. So, early 19th century Italian scientist Amedeo Avogadro. And there's a whole thing about how to observe National Mole Day, but I'm not going to go through all that. You can go to nationaldaycalendar.com. And we just toasted my friend Marlo, who is the CEO who runs nationaldaycalendar.com. Here, this is an interesting Q&A, though, that I wanted to share with you. First of all, an article in the Science Teacher, I'm reading this from their website, an article in the Science Teacher in the early 1980s sparked National Mole Day. A chemistry teacher at Prairie du Chien Senior High School became inspired by the article and founded the National Mole Day Foundation on May 15th, 1991. So there is a National Mole Day Foundation. Who knew? Apparently, scientists knew. I didn't know. I'm not a scientist. I wonder if the professor on Gilligan's Island knew. I mean, because he seemed to know everything, right? So he knew how to recharge radio batteries from coconuts. Here's a good question. How many zeros are in a mole? Answer, there are 22 zeros in a mole. It is written in standard form with 602, and then you got a whole bunch of commas, and it's getting deep in the weeds. Anyway, so should we do National Mole Day? CM Cinder says duct tape. Oh, Mole Day. Moles are important. I would drink to that. Toto says, okay, this is what Toto's saying. Moles are important. I would drink to that. CM Cinder says, isn't it called a mole because it's the amount of atoms or particles it takes up about the same space of the average mole on skin? Maybe I'm wrong. This wasn't too in-depth in chemistry. I have no idea. The same space on the average mole. I don't know about the average mole on the skin. I mean, moles, average in size. Now, let me find out what Ed thinks on this. Ed says, I'm almost home from seeing a show in DeLand. You got to tell me about the show here. Okay, let me get back to Ed on this one for just a second. Let's see if we're going to do Ed says a mole consists of an Avogadro's number of molecules. Yeah. That's and we've determined that. So I guess we'll go ahead and toast National Mole Day. Why not? Here's to National Mole Day. I toasted it twice. What can I say? What's next on the agenda here? It's also October 23rd, which is today, is National TV Talk Show Host Day. TV Talk Show Host Day. Here's some trivia for you, Ed. National TV Talk Show Host Day, and I forgot what you posted earlier. I'm going to come back. I'm going to come right back to that, by the way. National TV Talk Show Host Day, and in parentheses it says Johnny Carson's birthday, in parentheses. So National TV Talk Show Host Day is Johnny Carson's birthday. Today is Johnny Carson's birthday, October 23rd. Well, we have to, Johnny Carson, and for those of you who grew up with Johnny, as I did, and as Ed did, we all knew, Johnny Carson hosted the Tonight Show for many, many years. So probably he was the one. Jack Parr did it. Johnny did it for, I think, the longest. because after Johnny did it, then there was who was it after that? Was it 14.5% alcohol by volume, folks. Okay, anyway, let's get back to Johnny here. Johnny Carson's birthday, October 23rd, and they made it national TV talk show hosting. Now, normally I would these days. I used to listen. I used to stay up late and watch some of the talk shows. I used to watch Johnny back in the day when I was much younger. It was entertaining, and I even watched David Letterman. Although Letterman kind of annoyed me a lot because he could be so mean to the guests. It seemed to be such a mean. I don't think he ever treated his guests all that well. That's just my take on it from watching him. Now, he could be funny, but he was often funny at the expense of the guests he had on, and would be making fun of them. And sometimes he was making fun of them. They didn't even realize, that he was. I don't know. Letterman always. I mean, there were some fun things about Letterman, like the top tens and things like that. That was cool. But Letterman himself always seemed a little bit on the, I don't know, just on the, like, sticking you with pens or something. It was just, he was just the needle, I don't know. Not a Letterman fan. But Johnny, I like Johnny. Johnny was cool, and he didn't get political. Now they all get political. They're also political. We can't watch them. I mean, my wife and I can't. We just can't watch. And she can't stand a couple of them. So we don't watch them anymore because it's all about politics now, and it's just not fun anymore watching these late night talk shows. And it's really a lot of aggrandizing and just like a celebrity hounding and things like that. And it's just I don't know. Maybe I'm just in my old age, and that maybe I'm just becoming an old curmudgeon. But I guess it just doesn't do anything for me now. Anyway, National TV Talk Show Host Day. So is this one we ought to? You know what? I'm not going to toast National TV Talk Show Day. I'm going to toast Johnny Carson's birthday. How about that? There's a nice compromise. Here's to Johnny. Here's Johnny. I can't do it as well as Ed McMahon. Okay? That's just it. I can't do it as well as Ed McMahon. We have an Ed in the audience here. We have an Ed in the chat. Yep, Ed says, here's Johnny. Jay Leno, thank you. And yeah, I know Jay, and I mean, I don't know it personally, but Jay Leno, and I used to watch Jay Leno a lot, and when he was doing the Tonight Show, he was kind of funny. I liked it. Some people didn't like Jay Leno too much. I kind of liked him. I thought it was okay. I thought it was good. Anyway. Where were we? Oh, National Days. Thank you, Ed. Jay Leno, after Johnny, before Jack, and Steve Allen. Yes, Steve Allen was before Jack Parr. But see, a lot of these youngins, a lot of these youngsters, they wouldn't know who Jack Parr or Steve Allen were. And Steve Allen, a great comedian as well. Steve Allen was and a good comedy writer also. Steve Allen. He had his own shows here. Look him up. Look up at Jack Parr and Steve Allen if you're interested. A lot of great history there. Let me catch up on the chat here. CM Center says, because it's like a speck. Oh, in chemistry. A little speck of substance. So, okay, you're talking about the mole. Mole is a little speck of substance in chemistry. We should be more aware of chemistry because there's a lot of chemistry in wine. There's a lot of chemistry in wine making. And it goes back eons, millennia. Wine is a very, very, wine has been made for millennia. It's very, very, very old drink. I mean, it goes, people making wine for thousands of years. And there's a lot of chemistry involved in that. There is. And hopefully we can get to that at some point. Anyway, let's get back to the national days. We have a few more. October 23rd is National Swallows Depart from San Juan Capistrano Day. Okay. It's National Make a Difference Day. Fourth Saturday in October is National Make a Difference Day, and you can make a difference. We can all make a difference, and I will drink to that. Is this helping, Toto? Is this helping that determining what I drink to and what I don't drink to? This thing is it's leaking again. One more day. Today is this is iPod Day. Did you know that today is iPod Day? I'm going to tell you why I'm going to drink to that. Not that I'm a big fan of Apple. I am not an Apple fanboy. I've had an iPad. I've owned an iPad. It's okay. That's good. Decent. I own a Samsung pad now, tablet. But I used my iPad for a number of years until it just died. I pretty much quit working on me. But iPods. I never had an iPod. What I did have, I had other MP3 players. I had some really, really nice MP3 players, and I used them a lot back in the day. Tommy Antio, his first MP3 player was actually a Lego MP3 player. Yes, they actually made a Lego MP3 player. He has one. He still has one. It is a collector's item now. Hopefully he's never going to let go of that, because that is definitely a collector's item. I don't know if it's still working. Last I talked to him, I think he said it was still working. A Lego MP3 player. Pretty cool. He got that when he was a kid, when he first started getting into podcasts. Very cool little device. Simple, but cool. It was made of Legos. Anyway, the iPod Day, I'm going to drink to that. And the reason I'm going to drink to that is because, as most of you know, I am a 15-year veteran of podcasting. This does become a podcast. We make this into a podcast when we're done for the night. I do. And iPod Day, if it was not for the iPod, would we have podcasting? Very good question. My friend Daniel J. Lewis asked that question on Facebook today. I was going to answer it, but I couldn't really. I was at a loss for words. I had to think about that. If it was not for the iPod, would we have podcasting now? Maybe, but it might not be called podcasting. But then again, maybe not. And podcasting has become such an industry and such a huge influence. Look, Joe Rogan, whether you like Joe or not, he's probably the most influential podcaster of this current day, this current age. So, one of the most influential, I would say. There are a lot of influential podcasters, but he's probably the one that's made the most money from it, since he signed that $100 million deal with Spotify last year. So that's another story for another time. But anyway, I will drink to National iPod Day because, as a podcaster, as a veteran podcaster, and as one who is considered one of the OGs, one of the old guard podcasters. I started in 2006. That was only 2 years after podcasting really came into being. Here's to iPod Day. I will drink to that, and I will get that drink all over me. All right, it's also October 24th, National Food Day. I love food, and I'll drink to that. National Food Day. That's tomorrow. October 1st is tomorrow in another 50 minutes. 50 minutes. National Bologna Day. National Bologna Day, okay? Which is a bunch of bologna. I'll drink to that. National Bologna Day. This thing's really leaking on me. Now, it's October 24th is United Nations Day. And it's National Mother-in-Law Day. Fourth Sunday in October is National Mother's Day. I will drink to that because we just recently lost my mother-in-law. No, we didn't lose her somewhere. She passed away. Okay, I'm not trying to make a light of this. It's just I lost my mother-in-law earlier this year, just a couple of months ago, and we had a really nice memorial for her. We did a nice memorial for her here on the show, A Drink with Rick, and I did a memorial toast to her. National Mother-in-Law Day. She was you know what? She always treated me like a son, and she embraced me. And this is the thing: is when I married my wife, I wasn't sure how I was going to be accepted into the family. She embraced me with open arms, and she always treated me very, very well. I knew she loved me. I loved her. Here's to National Mother-in-Law Day. And I know the old, that old thing where the old battle axe and mother-in-law, that kind of thing. The mother-in-law and the guy don't get along that too well. That was not the case in my case, okay? Not the case at all. Here's to National Mother-in-Law Day. I will drink to that. Does that answer your question, Toto? Does that answer your question as to what I will drink to and what I will not drink to? Toto says, what is your all-time favorite wine? Wow, that's... That is that could be, I could be here all night trying to think of that one. My all-time favorite wine, I'll tell you what, I'd say one of my all-time favorite wines, and I have a few, and we've done a few of them on this show. But I'd say one of my all-time favorite wines was and I don't think I have a picture of it right here. I'd have to go search for it. Was the Caymus, the 40th anniversary Caymus wine. Caymus is kind of a prestigious, high-profile wine. Ed, I think Caymus is one of the wines that's in your 1,000 wines to try before you die. I think so. The one that you sent me. By the way, Ed sent me that book, 1,000 wines to try before you die. 1,001 wines to try before you die. Caymus is one of those wines. I have tried it. I had the 40th anniversary Caymus, and I have the empty bottle right behind me. It's down below. I'm not going to pull it out right now, but that was. Oh, okay. I was given this Caymus wine as a gift by my employers at BuyTwoWayRadios.com. They've given me so many gifts through the years, and it's much appreciated. They're great people. So I was given this bottle of wine, this Caymus wine, as a gift. I held on to it for several years because I knew it was worth something. And I knew it was quite a lot. But then one Thanksgiving, I had a lot of people over. We had some special friends over, and I wanted to give them a special wine. So I opened that bottle of Caymus. And I'm glad I did, in the sense that there were special friends, and I really wanted to give them a special wine, and I had one. It was a Caymus. Of course, the one thing is that after we drank the bottle, which we thoroughly enjoyed, by the way, it was a great wine. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I no longer had the wine, so it's gone. But at the time, that wine was $100 a bottle. I kid you not. Okay, $100 a bottle. Now, I have other wines. I have some other wines that are worth that and maybe a little more in my collection. I have not opened them. I don't plan to open them anytime soon. But you never know. Another special occasion comes along that calls for it. I will pull one out, and I will be more than happy to share that wine with people that I care about, because that's what it is. That's what the wine is about. The wines weren't made to be just stowed away. I mean, there are people that collect wines, and that's fine. I collect a few. I've tried to collect more, but I wind up drinking them before they. And I've had a few wines that I should not have opened and drunk myself, because they were They're worth a lot more now than they were. They were. I'm not going there. Anyway, so I have regrets. Yeah, I have regrets. But yeah, I mean, the Caymus was one of those wines where it was a $100 bottle of wine at the time, which was a few years ago. It's worth a lot more than that now. Probably should have held on to it. But then again, if I had held on to it that much longer, I wouldn't have been able to share it with some people that I care about, and we could all enjoy it together. What good is it to just shove the wine away and if nobody can ever enjoy it, right? I mean, so that's how I looked at it. So anyway, that's yeah, I had that was one of my favorite wines, Toto, to answer your question. CM Cinder says, I watched an entire movie one night on my MP3 player as a kid on that tiny little screen. Yes, I think it was the animated Gulliver's Travels. Yes. Ed says, okay, now here's, I'm going to go back here to something Ed was saying earlier, because I asked Ed about a rebirth. He says he had a personal rebirth day, was yesterday for me and also for the birthday of a person named Courtney. Okay, and I want to say Courtney's birthday, happy birthday to you, Courtney. And you know what we have to do? We have to go back and switch that over to the fireworks. Courtney, this is for you. And Ed, you can forward this over to Courtney or clip it or however you want to do with it. It's okay with me. I don't have a problem with that. Courtney, here's to you. Happy birthday. And may you have many, 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 many more. To Courtney. All right, so so I was asking Ed about his rebirth, his personal rebirth day. And this is Ed sharing this with us here, and I appreciate it, Ed. Thank you for sharing it with us. Let me get close out of this. There we go. Make it a little more personal. Close-ups, right? Thank you, Mr. DeMille. Ed says, 51 years ago, yesterday, my heart overruled my head. Ever since, I have reassessed my situation on that day. 51 years ago yesterday. My heart overruled my head. Ever since I have reassessed my situation on that day. I think it's possible it's 51 years ago. Let me see. What was 51 years ago? It was, I'm not going to divulge more, but it unless you really want to, Ed, but I think I know what you're talking about. I may know what it is. Do I know? 51 years ago. What was 51 years ago? It was 1979, 119. No, maybe I don't. 120, 51 years. 41 years ago. Yeah, 51 years ago. I know. Okay. So I was thinking of something else, Ed. Ed and I have been friends for decades, so I know. A lot of things that a lot of history, but that one 51, 41, yeah, 51. I don't know. Was 70, 79, 80. Let's see. I'm losing count here. 90, 10. 20. Okay, that's 40. Okay. No, it's a wine talking. Don't mind me, Ed. It's a wine talking on this one. Okay, so anyway, Mark and Rhonda, if you're watching, please jump in the chat and say hi, Mark and Rhonda. Thank you for reacting. But if you're watching, please jump in and tell me how you're doing. Rhonda and Mark, both especially, both good friends. And, okay, Toto the dog says, yeah. Okay. All right, so where were we here? Okay, we finished the national days. I think we did that. What else left? Open chat. It's open chat. Oh, yeah. I'm going to introduce you to someone, or reintroduce you to someone that, he was a good friend of Cosmo's. And Cosmo, the dog, Tommy Antio's dog, he's not doing too well these days. He's on meds, and he's not doing really well. Let me tell you about Cosmo. Cosmo has been Tommy's dog for 12. He's almost 15 years old. He'll be 15 in January if he makes it. He's an old dog now, and he's suffering from diabetes. Doggy diabetes. He's cockapoo. He's suffering from diabetes, and the vet thinks he has a brain tumor as well. Now, we have been giving him anti-seizure medications 3 times a day, which keeps us up late nights because we have to take care of him. Geriatric dog. We're really having to. I'm nursemaid to a dog. Both she and I are nursemaid to a dog, and we're up at all different hours of the night and day with him. But he's the sweetest little dog, and we don't lose him, but we know that at some point it's inevitable. Cosmo, though, has been a great dog for all of us, for the whole family, and he's part of the family, and we love him dearly. Cosmo has his toys. He has his toy box. He has his toys. And he loves his toys. He can't play with them much anymore, but he loves his toys. One of his favorite toys, which he was always dropping at my feet to play with, is this one. Roadkill Bill. This is what I call Roadkill Bill. This thing is a really, really nasty squirrel. I shouldn't be handling it with my bare hands. And his squeaker, I don't know, squeaker. Yeah, squeaker works still a little bit. Roadkill Bill. I call him Roadkill Bill because he looks like roadkill. It's a squirrel. It's supposed to be a squirrel, stuffed squirrel. And Cosmo has chewed him up and played with him so much that, he's beyond. He's Roadkill Bill. Anyway. Roadkill Bill. I trip over him every once in a while. But I had him down here, and I picked him up and said, hey, here's Roadkill Bill. I thought about Roadkill Bill the other day, and I was thinking, I think about stuffed animals. You have a little bit of wine, you're staring at this thing, and it's like, think about Roadkill Bill. So I was... I was thinking about Roadkill Bill the other day, and I was thinking, how apropos is it that we've got this stuffed animal that kind of represents looks like it's been hit by a bunch of cars, drunk drivers, and that's why I was going somewhere with this. I don't remember now what, but 14.5% alcohol by volume, folks. It's I was where I was going with this was I was thinking, Roadkill Bill could teach us a lot about. Not really. The concept of roadkill could teach us a lot about the dangers of drunk driving. And I just want to remind you about that. The dangers of drunk driving. Don't drink and drive. Drink from the comfort of your home. That's what I say all the time. And I say that for a reason, because, look, I'm home. I'm in my home studio. This is not a studio somewhere in Burbank, California. Of course, it wouldn't be. But it's not a studio it's not the studio where I work at in Rock Hill, South Carolina. It's not a studio somewhere else. It's in my own home studio. And when I'm done for the night with this show, I can turn off the lights, walk out the studio, close the door, and I'm done for the night. And the only traveling I have to do is to take 20, 30 steps to my bed and go to bed. That's it. But I have a strict rule about if I'm out somewhere, like for instance, if I'm in a hotel, if I'm staying in a hotel or something, I'll have a glass of wine, I'll have a cocktail or two, like it's fine, because I'm just going to go up to my hotel room and I can crash there and it's not a problem. I don't have to worry about that. But if I'm going to be out and about somewhere, or if I'm eating dinner or whatever, I don't generally drink anything but water, because I'm going to be the designated driver. And I've got my family to think about. So what I'm saying is, and I'm not trying to be preachy about it, what I'm saying is, please be mindful of that. Think of others, infinite giving principles, like in this book, Infinite Giving, and I still have one of these books sitting here, okay, Infinite Giving. Part of infinite giving is not just giving things or money or stuff, whatever, but also giving of yourself and giving of your, considering other people, giving your time and your, giving your compassion to other people. And that includes things like decisions that you make on a moment-by-moment basis. If you're not just thinking about yourself, like, I'm going to go bar hopping or go to the bar or whatever. Think about the other people. Not just yourself, but think about the other people that could be affected by any action you make or any decision that you make on a moment-by-moment basis. Think about the others first. I think that's a good, solid principle. That's a principle that I believe in. And I'm not telling you that you have to believe it. Once again, I'm not preaching. I'm just telling you what I believe, and I believe in that principle of just thinking about when you're making decisions, when you're making a call on something. Think about how, before you do it, before you make that final decision, think about how it affects other people around you, your family, your friends, your coworkers, your relatives, your loved ones, whoever it is. Strangers even. Think about how it affects them before you make that final decision. I think that makes all the difference between being selfless and selfish. I do. That's just a personal note from me. Seem to Cinder says, you're never too old for plushies. Never too old for plushies. But this is the kind of thing that Roadkill Bill could teach you. Or not. Anyway, so did that make any sense? It's okay. It's 14.5% alcohol by volume, folks. And I only have like 30 steps to my bed, so. And it's getting late. It's 11:29 from my clock. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close this up. With no other comments from anybody here in the chats. Let me check. I check all the chats here. I really had no agenda tonight. I really didn't. There is one thing that I do want to mention real quick. Okay? It is still hurricane season. It's going to be hurricane season until November 30th, 2021. And I try to be prepared with a lot of the things that I do. I have an ER. This is a Midland ER 310. It's a multi-use, multi-purpose weather radio. Get yourself a weather radio. I understand the weather's been really nice here the last week or two, but I understand we're going to have some storms, some severe weather in the next week, supposedly. So we're going to be prepared, and I try to be prepared with things like this. Be prepared. Go to ready.gov, ready.gov. It's a government website. Put yourself an emergency weather kit together. We have one. We have an emergency preparedness kit. In case of an emergency, we have something ready. It's in a backpack. We have a lot of emergency gear in there, and we can grab it and go. We take it with us when we go up to the mountains. We go anywhere. We put it in the car, and we take it with us. So we have it there just in case, because you never know when there's going to be an emergency. You get it stranded somewhere, some weather comes up that's inclement. You just never know what's going to happen. So we have an emergency weather kit. Everyone should have one. one of the things that should go in this emergency weather kit is an emergency weather radio. Another thing, if you can, a two-way radio. Okay? Now, what you can do is you can go to buytwowayradios.com. Buy Two-Way Radios is the source for two-way radios and radio accessories. This is a website where we have all kinds of radios. We have FRS, GMRS radios, ham radios, all kinds of radios. And we have this right here. They have emergency weather radios on their website. And this is the ER310 right up here, ER310. And they have an ER210. Well, that's the ER210, excuse me. That's the ER210. This is the ER310. And they have a lot of other emergency weather radios. Now, if you go to buytwowayradios.com and you get an emergency weather radio or any other kind of radio or radio accessory, you can save 5% off your order in the cart when you put all your products in the cart that you want to purchase. Save 5% off your order by using the promo code WINESHOW, WINESHOW. That's WINESHOW. Use that promo code. You'll save 5% off your entire order. And that's for you. That's for you as a viewer and listener of Drink with Rick on the Saturday Night Wine Stream. Now, for full disclosure, I am the product manager for BuyTwoWayRadios.com. But I don't make any extra for doing this. Okay, this is not a paid endorsement. I don't get paid any extra for telling you all about this and giving you this promo code and all that kind of thing. This is something that I'm doing because my boss said, hey, give your viewers and listeners a product code. They can send 5%. They can save 5% off the order. That's what I'm doing. So you can use this. It's for you. Okay, it's not for my benefit. It's not for the company's benefit because they lose 5% off the sales. Okay, but don't worry about that. This is for you to use when you purchase a radio from BuyTwoWayRadios.com. By the way, I'm actually and of course my home studio here, as I mentioned before, my home studio. I'm really kind of proud of myself. I do a lot of videos. I do a lot of blogging and things like that. We do the podcast, Two-Way Radio Show podcast for radios. But one of the things I can't show it tonight, but maybe I can show it in another time in the future. But I did this 45-second commercial this week. I finished it. It's been something I've kind of been toying in my head for a long time, and I actually finished it this week and put it up on YouTube as a 45-second commercial for a radio, for a MERS radio, a mobile radio, and I'm kind of proud of it. Yeah, I think it turned out pretty well considering, and you can go check it out. It's just a 45-second commercial, but it gives you an example of the kind of the work I do on my day job. That's what I do on my day job. That's what I do here, and that's one of the reasons why sometimes I'll take a week off or something, and I'll say, I'm not streaming this week. I'm not doing a wine stream this week because I have to, do some things with the studio and retool it a little bit for and set it up for doing some product videos. This is the kind of thing I do, and that's an example of it. And you can see the work. You can see my work there. If you go to YouTube and go to Buy Two-Way Radios, you can see a lot of my work on that. I'm going to be doing some more of that this next week. Hopefully, I'll have everything done. I'm doing a whole bunch of videos that are green screen, and hopefully I'll be done with it in time to set everything up for the wine stream next week. But if I'm a little bit late for that next week, please understand that my day job comes first because I don't make any money doing this. This is just something I'm doing for fun. The Drink with Rick is something I do for fun on my off night on Saturday nights. My day job, that's what pays the mortgage, and that's what pays for the lights and everything else here going on in the studio. So please understand that. We should be back on time. I'm going to do my best to try to get everything shot and set up and back together in time for next Saturday night. But in the meantime, my final review. Here's my final review on this wine. This is the Pabellon Pabellon Rioja, this is a 2018, and 14.5% alcohol by volume. I'll be honest with you, it's okay. I don't know that it's a $15 bottle of wine. $10, $12 maybe. I don't know. It's okay. My final review on it, it went okay. It went okay with everything I tried it with. The steak. It was alright with the steak. It was okay with the, well, the thing is, it didn't really do much for the Parm cheese here, and the Trader Joe's double cream Gouda. It was kind of a neutral thing with that. Now there is one thing here on the dish that I did not try. Okay, and you may have been wondering about this, but this is a pumpkin bread with. This was made by my lovely wife, Chi. Pumpkin bread with blueberry. With a blueberry, it's not an icing, but I always joke with her that she makes a bread or a cake or something. I said, it needs icing. She put a blueberry topping on this. It's coming apart here. Let me try it real quick, see how this works, because I was tasting a little hint of a few things here. Let me try this. Oh, wow, this is really good pumpkin bread, Chi. Why didn't I try this earlier? Good with the blueberry, too. Blueberries are a very interesting touch. With a pumpkin bread, blueberry, interesting touch. That works with a wine. Now, this is interesting. It's not so much the pumpkin, because I can taste the pumpkin and the wine interacting, and it's okay. The blueberry topping, because what I was tasting in here was blackberry, black cherry, mostly black cherry in the beginning, blackberry, and I was getting, so it's kind of oaky, very tannic. It's a lot of tannins in this wine, but it's there was a little hint of, I think, what is it that I'm trying to remember when I was in there, but it's a little plum in there too, actually. But the combination, a little bit of tobacco. And the combination was, with this blueberry, actually is pretty decent. I like it. Now, once again, this wine I have not been super impressed with. It's okay as a Tempranillo. I've had better Tempranillos. I haven't had any worse. I like Tempranillo. But this is okay. But it's not the best Tempranillo I've had. It's okay. Whether it's a $15 bottle of wine, I'd say maybe it's a $12 bottle of wine. I don't know if I'd pay $15 for it. If you can get it. You can't get it anywhere, apparently, except Winestore, winestore-online.com. Which is okay, because they ship to a lot of different states. It's all right. It's all right. Nothing spectacular to write home about. It's okay. But it does go pretty decent with this pumpkin bread this pumpkin bread right here with the blueberry. It's okay with that. I like it. And of course, the thing is, though, is that red wines in general, even red wines that are not spectacular, you can sometimes save a red wine with a dessert because it's all sugar. You got the natural sugars in the wine, or sometimes sugars that are added to the wine. You've got the sugars in the dessert, natural or added, one of the two. And in general, wine and desserts go pretty well together. So I'm not too surprised with that. Okay. So let's see what else we got here. Seam Center says you're never too old for plushies. Well, it's not my plushie; it's Cosmo's. And Ed, I think we got you covered on that, right? All right, so I guess we'll close it up now. I think that does it for this episode of the show. Next week, I've got a couple of things I'm working on for next week, and one of the things I wanted to tell you about was I want to follow up on the concept of making wine. So this is what I want to do. I'm still shopping around for wine kits. I'm hoping to make a decision in the next week or so on a decent wine kit to try out. But what I'd like to do is put together a decent wine kit, and then I'm going to document it, like for the next, for 6-8 weeks, however long it takes to do the wine, and each week do a 1 to 3 minute, somewhere between 1 and 3 minute documentary on the progress of what I'm doing with the wine to make wine. So we're actually going to do some wine making on the Saturday Night Wine Stream. And I'll keep you up. It'll be like a little mini-series kind of thing where I'll keep you up on it. And then the culmination of that will be hopefully during the holidays. We'll open up a bottle, maybe just after the holidays, maybe if we can time it right. We'll open up a bottle and we'll try it and see how it works. How about that? Anyway, in the meantime, I want to thank everybody for joining me here tonight. I want to thank CM Cinder for being in the chat, and also Toto the dog one. Thank you for being here tonight. I do appreciate it. And all the other viewers, I know there are other viewers here who are watching. I can see who's watching, but I don't know who you are per se. But thank you for being here in the chat. Unless you go in the chat and say, hey, here I am. I also want to thank my lovely wife, Chi, and my good friend, Ed. Here's Johnny. And Ed, thank you for being here, and thank you for your contributions, as always, because it's much appreciated. Everybody anyone who is watching me on YouTube, thank you for being here now or later. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate each and every one of you. I really, really do, because you are the show. The show's, once again, the show is not about me. It's partly about the wine, but it's really just about us. And you make the show. You're the one who steers the show as to where we go with it. Anyway, thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. Please, once again, do not drink and drive. Where's Roadkill Bill? Where did he run? He ran away. Oh, he's down here. Okay. Do not drink and drive. Don't end up like Roadkill Bill, okay? Drink in the comfort of your home, your apartment, your hotel, your dwelling, wherever it is, or just stay put. Do not drink and drive. Do not text and drive either, because that's not a good thing either. Call an Uber, call a Lyft, call a cab if you need it. Just don't drink and drive, okay? Because I want you to have a great week, but most of all, I want you to have a safe week. So you can join me here again next week on the Saturday Night Wine Stream, and we can all get together and drink with Rick. Good night.